a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside former Badger and Packer Gary Ellerson, here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. I don't know that he was listening yesterday to answer the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. How often should the Packers make the Super Bowl? Every 5 years, every 10 years, every 15 years, or every 20 years? Make the Super Bowl. And now, Gary Ellerson. Good afternoon, and your answer, please.
Well, I hate questions like that.
Why?
Because I don't think that it's a time period on every 5, every 10. I think it's stupid. Those are stupid questions. And once again, you're the fan, and I'm the ex-player. Because I understand how hard it is to make the Super Bowl. You sound like a spoiled Packer fan once again, or
What?
Packer fans that are spoiled who thinks they should be in the Super Bowl every year, or every 5 years,
hold
or
on.
every 10 years, or every 15 years.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the goal. That is the goal, I would assume, for every team that is in the NFL. Some teams are ran better than others. Some teams are run poorly than others. The Green Bay Packers, you would think, would be somewhere in the middle or better than most. I just think it's a dumb question.
But say you're right. Hold on. Say you're the president. You're the president of the Packers.
And people that agree or disagree with me, I want to take phone calls on that. That's a dumb question. Should you make 5, 10? You make it when you make it.
Well, wait a minute.
What kind of question is that?
Easy.
Where you come up with stuff like that all the time, Homer?
Easy.
You people absolutely kill me with this stuff. It should be. And then if they don't make it every 5 years, then you have the audacity to come on the radio on the airways and call and be pissed off because the Packers don't make it 5 years. And now you want to fire Goody. Now Ted doesn't know what he's doing. Now fire Jordan Love because you didn't give Aaron Rodgers any weapon. I told you. And Josh Jacobs, and then Lucas Van Ness, he's no good. And the organization, you are the reason why that Packer fans are spoiled. You, Homer.
Well, first of all, it's as bad as if you were president of the Green Bay Packers. I'm president of the Green Bay Packers. I'm expecting a certain level of excellence, or I'm going to fire people. And it's going to be based on how they do in the playoffs and whether they make a Super Bowl. They don't make a Super Bowl, they ain't getting 20 years, and this isn't a fan thing. If you, and as I would emphasize, the question gives 4 choices. All right? It doesn't say, you could say every 20 years. I mean, I'd do it again more than every 20 years. If you're president of the Green Bay Packers and I'm on the executive committee, I'm firing you if you don't have a standard of the Packers making the Super Bowl at least every 20 years. I don't want you running things. It has nothing to do with the fans. It has to do with a level of excellence I think is appropriate, not just for the Packers. It'd be for any team.
So you're the guy that fired the Malone, the head coach at the Denver Nuggets. You that guy, right?
No,
Yeah, you're that guy.
No, because I don't think that there was to me it wasn't. They won a championship 2 years ago. Now, unless there's something I'm not aware of, I'm never firing a coach 2 years after they win a championship. How long was Budenholzer around? What did he get after the championship?
You're the guy that wanted Budenholzer. You're the guy that wanted Budenholzer out,
I did not. No, I didn't. But even if I did, I would be wrong, and I'm not doing it as a fan. I'm doing it as president, as if I was running the Green Bay Packers. As I think you would. All right, you're now president of the Green Bay Packers. And I think you're the problem. You're the problem because you get mad at fans for everything. You get mad at fans like every week. There's something fans do that irritate you. Why are you mad all the time? Whoa.
But that's why they're fans. That's why they're fans.
This is not a fan
they
question.
Irritate me.
How often
it
should
is a fan question.
I should have put if you were president of the Packers. If you were president of the Packers, how often do you think your staff, GM, because he's generally the person in charge, should get to the Super Bowl? I'm not giving him 20 years, I can tell you that.
Well, okay, I do believe in improvement within the organization. Let's just, I can say this. If you look back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
yeah,
who was the head coach with the Buccaneers?
At the very beginning?
And then
John
won it with the coach.
Okay, Tony Dungy was the coach. He got him there. They got rid of Tony Dungy, and they brought in John Gruden, and he won a Super Bowl his first year, I believe.
That worked out, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think if they'd stuck with Tony Dungy, I think he could have won the Super Bowl. I wouldn't have. Exactly. I wouldn't have made that difference. Exactly. But again, I'm letting you run the Green Bay Packers. You're running the Green Bay Packers, Gary Ellerson. And walking in to the meeting is General Manager Homer, Head Coach LaFleur, and you go, anybody have any questions? Yeah. What's your standard, Mr. Ellerson, so that I know what I have to do the standard of the Packers and, to be blunt, avoid getting fired? I like this job. I want to know what your standard is of excellence for me as general manager. Take it away. By the way, I liked it when you played for Wisconsin. You were a good running back. I never knew in high school you were a wide receiver, not a running back. So, what, Mr. Ellerson, take it away. Somebody. Take it away.
You guys always want to fire somebody.
I don't.
You want to fire.
I'm the guy. I'm asking you, what's your standard?
Well, put it this way.
Yes.
Can I put it this way?
Yeah.
And I like to use real stuff, not made up stuff.
That's not made up.
Real stuff.
That's real stuff.
Yeah, it is. Let's just use Goody as a example.
All right.
How many Super Bowls has Goody won?
0.
And how long has he been a GM?
Let's look. I think it's about 10 years. That's a great question. I'll look that up.
I wouldn't be looking to fire Goody anytime soon.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Mr. President. I wouldn't either. I can't say anytime soon at the present. It's 7 years. But the things get worse the next 3 years. He gone after 10.
And what's worse?
Don't make the playoffs, something like that, or the quality of the players.
Okay.
But I think that's reasonable. But I'm
right
more
now,
curious.
I don't see anything like that right now with the Packers.
I agree.
It's not a blanket statement, Homer, where you like I give the guy 10 years, I give the guy 20 years. It's about the body of work.
It's about the body of work, but there's also the amount of time. I mean, your body of work, you don't make the playoffs for X number of years in a row, then I will need to look more seriously to see if you should get your butt fired or I should get my butt fired.
But we're not in that.
I don't. It never crossed my mind. And in fact, I'll say this: they can go 0-17 next year. 0-17. I'm not firing Goody and I'm not firing LaFleur. 0-17.
Agreed.
So see, we don't. So are you still mad at me and fans and whatever?
Now, I'm mad with you for coming up with this stuff.
I got another. You know what the question was going to be today? Not how often should the Packers get to the Super Bowl, but how often should they win the Super Bowl? Now,
oh my God.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my God.
But I don't know if 5, 10, 15, or 20.
Who wants to weigh in on that?
I want to know what they think. I don't. I mean, every 5 years, no one
wants
thinks.
to weigh in on that.
Well, we got 130 votes. I'll weigh in on it. How often should the Packers win the Super Bowl? I would say every 20 years. I would say that about any team. They're 20 years. They're 32 teams, so that means some teams aren't going to do it, and then it'd have to factor. If you made it a couple times but didn't win it, that would give you a bit of a cushion. Yes, I believe the Packers should win the Super Bowl every 20 years. Yep.
What's the life expectancy, or what is the longevity of life shelf of a football player? You know,
a life in the NFL. What do they say? The average player is like 3 years or something like that. It's very short.
So that means your roster is probably turning over every 4 years,
something like that. Yeah.
So that means that you've got new players coming in and out every 4 years.
Yeah, right.
And so to me, it's not. Yes, is it about Super Bowls? But to me, I think it's about being in the hunt and being competitive and having a shot. That's what I think it's about.
Okay. So if they're like the Steelers, but I don't have to look. Teams that are that competitive, to me, almost always win a Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl. But I would have to check. So you don't want to answer the question. Is that right? You don't want to answer. Pebble, you got the Discount League Twitter poll question up today. I say, I say get to the Super Bowl every 10 years, win the Super Bowl every 20 years.
Yeah, I don't think it's that blank. I think it's that blank of a statement to answer a question like that.
Okay. But do you have a particular question? Why are Packer fans so, spoiled? Packer fans aren't spoiled.
Yeah, they are. They are.
What?
That question leads into Packer fans being spoiled.
I don't know. The Packers have won 2 Super Bowls in the last, 30 years?
Sure.
I mean, they're like half the teams.
But you think that's not enough.
Yes, given the quarterbacks they had, yes, it's not enough. But
see?
But that doesn't mean I'd fire anybody. I think everybody agrees. I think 100% of people, not just Packer fans, but NFL fans believe, given the quarterbacks and also given those running the Green Bay Packers, yes, they should have won more than 2 Super Bowls in the era of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Has nothing to do with a Packer fan. I think 100% of knowledgeable football fans, yes.
Who do you blame?
I blame Aaron Rodgers a little bit in the playoffs. He didn't perform at an MVP level. I blame the entire team when they lost to Seattle. But, they won 2, so it's not like they failed terribly. But given that level of a quarterback, they should have won more. But it's not a horrific blame.
It's not one thing, right? It's not one thing, right?
Right, correct. They're like 2 or 3 years or games. For example,
what about the Brett Favre playoff game against the Giants at Lambeau Field?
Yes.
Yeah,
they get their butts kicked. I don't know. I'll accept whoever you blame. All right,
I don't blame anybody. That's my point.
You don't?
No.
You mean 2011 when they were 15-1? I blame they
lost to the Giants.
I blame
Lawrence Tynes that kicked the field goal winner or something like that.
I'd have to remember which one they lost. This one they got beat pretty badly, I thought, but I blame the people that didn't appreciate and understand that the defense had to be better, even though the offense was probably the greatest offense or one of the Packers ever had. All right, Gary will continue to complain about fans. There's something. Are you okay? Do you not like fans? We're going to save that for the next segment. We have the Bucks game coming up at 5:30, so we'll be on YouTube from 5:30 to 6. So that will be good. Go to YouTube and see, because I'm looking at Gary. He doesn't look angry.
No, I'm not.
Oh, what you did was rip every Packer fans and say that you hated the question. And Pebble was Gary angry at the beginning of the show.
He came in hot, Homer.
He came in hot. Yes. All right. Well, he'll talk about his partners next, and that isn't nearly as hot then. He's kind and nice. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on
on 41, backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. We've got eastbound 94 still heavy from Highway 16 all the way past Barker Road to Brookfield Road. More delays then from the Zoo all the way through to 35th. Westbound side is slow from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly clear, frost with a low of 34. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant, a high of 54 at the lake, 60 inland. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
April Brewers action rounds out with the matchup against the Tigers and Athletics. Catch the series opener April 14th as the first 10,000 fans get a Brewers t-shirt designed by Unfinished Legacy. Then get Brewers collectibles at back-to-back games against the Athletics. First up, Peanuts Night on April 18th, featuring a Franklin Bobble with special tickets. And don't miss a Brewers football jersey for the first 25,000 fans April 19th. Get set for an action-packed April at Brewers.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
As a fellow veteran, we understand what it means to serve on a team. A suicide on a team is devastating and a real risk for veterans. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out now. Reach out WIS.org for local resources available to you and your loved ones.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yeah, you go to YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee. Gary is correct, says the chef. I don't know exactly what he's correct about, but he's correct. Packer fans are selfish, or whatever the word is. But it'll wait because I want you to talk about your partner. Nobody does that better.
Hey, folks. Listen, if you're getting ready to take that next step in life and propose, the Jury Center has to be the first stop because, folks, it is the first stop and the last stop always for Gary Ellerson. Whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds, the Jury Center has options for it all. Maybe you don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jury Center. Their team of experts will help take your ideas from a dream to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selections or any other services at tjc.com or stop in today at any of their 3 locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or Burlington.
I want to tell you about the Holtebeck Eye Center. Dr. Aaron Holtebeck just wants to get better and better. Was there at their Brookfield office. They make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art office. But he said, we're going to get better. We got to deal with more issues and do it even better than have been. So, while he's been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years, Dr. Holtebeck recently added to his team Dr. Nausheen Abbas. So there's a specialist in even another area. So don't mess with your vision. Trust the experts from Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com. Yes, I'm the expert at telling you how far away it is. 2 hours and 18 minutes. Happy love. No. Higher love. Higher love, higher love, higher love. Remember that. And you can get there less than an hour from Green Bay, 2 hours and 18 minutes from Milwaukee. Higher Love is the only UP cultivator offering organic, clean green certified products, which means you can count on them to provide only the good stuff and none of the bad stuff. 9 retail locations across the Upper Peninsula, 2 stores just over the border in Menominee. That would be 19 seconds over the border across from Milwaukee. They have a 9th retail location open now, Escanaba. Remember the name, Higher Love, the only UP cultivator offering organic, clean green certified products, which means you can count on them to provide only the good stuff and none of the bad stuff. Kevin, don't get mad because we, the fans, are smarter and more objective and not emotional about someone doing their job to a certain standard. Gary, we'll get to your thought on that and once more talking about your partner because we got to get everything done in the next couple minutes before all of our partners must be mentioned before we go to YouTube. ESPN's fantasy-focused football podcast coming to Green Bay on April 23rd, getting close. Live show at the Tundra Trio. ESPN Wisconsin wants to send you and a friend up to Green Bay to see the show happen live. Right now, caller 4, 1-800-990-3776. 2 tickets to ESPN's fantasy-focused football live at the Tundra Trio. And you get free food, free drinks, free fantasy-focused football podcast merchandise. Free. Call it 1-800-990-3776 right now. Visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for full details. To hear Gary talk about all the fans that are selfish and they expect too much success, don't appreciate the toughness, you can go to YouTube and go to ESPN Milwaukee because right now, before we leave and go to YouTube only, Gary, with one more time, the greatness of his partner. Take it away.
Yeah, the Jury Center has to be the first stop. Whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds, the Jury Center has options for it all. Maybe you don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jury Center. Their team of experts will help take your ideas from a dream to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selection or any other services at shoptjc.com or stop in today at any of their 3 locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or Burlington.
All right, they're coming on strong. Matt, 32 teams in the NFL, so at random you should win once every 32 years. Pack is better than average managed football program, so once in 20 years is reasonable. 1 in 10 is crazy expectations. The Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, and this is a stupid question according to Gary, but no more stupid than the one we had yesterday. Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, how often should the Packers win the Super Bowl? 13% say every 5 years. Now, I'd agree with you, Gary. Those people are nuts. You think the Packers should win a Super Bowl every 5 years? Please listen on YouTube for the next half hour. Gary will set you straight. Every 10 years, 66%. Every 15 years, 16%. And I am every 20 years, 6%. I'll take it every 20 years. Yeah. Gary, you refuse to answer the question, right?
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, well, then we'll have to start, Pebble, we'll have to start talking to Gary ahead of time for a question that he likes that's up to his standards. We
can't do that because that would be show prep.
You got that right. But there'll be no show prep. You will just announce your question, and then we'll use it. I don't got to do any show prep. You can do the show prep. All right. We'll be leaving on 94.5 to YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee. Next.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
What happens if the Knicks lose to the Pistons in the first round, if that is the matchup in 3-6? What happens to the Knicks?
Do you think Tom Thibodeau's out?
Well, again, you know my saying on this. I don't like presenting problems without solutions. You asked the same question to me a couple of weeks ago, and you said, okay, if he's out, who's in? And I didn't really have a great answer for you.
Now you do.
Michael Malone is a better coach than Tom Thibodeau.
Now you do.
Right.
Now you have the solution.
So, yeah, I would rather have Michael Malone than Tom Thibodeau. I think Tom Thibodeau is an excellent basketball coach. I think Tom Thibodeau has excelled as a defensive coordinator. I think Tom Thibodeau is the kind of coach that if I was a bad team, I'd want him to get me good. And if I was a good team, I wouldn't want him to get me over the top. I don't think I was insulting towards him. Maybe I was. But I think they would have to consider making that move. And I also think they have to consider calling the Suns and trying to get Kevin Durant. And they may have to do it by way of Karl Anthony Towns.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Lowe's knows how to help pros save. That's why the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards program lets you unlock exclusive member deals on the things you need every day on the job. Plus, MyLowe's Pro Rewards members can get volume discounts on eligible orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Exclusions, more terms and restrictions apply. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Just outside my room, dancing in the alley to a strange exotic tune. It was violent, oh so powerful, like nothing I've heard before. It felt just like thunder coming through the floor. Dancing just outside my door, dancing like I'd never seen before. The dancers moved like shadows. They were real, but not quite there. Contorted by their motions, like figments chaos of the air. It was a carnival of evil. What could it all mean? Why have they chosen this place for their twisted scene? Dancing just outside my door, dancing like I'd never seen before.
Yes, it's YouTube time with the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour, meaning that we can swear whenever we want. Say whatever swear word you want.
Uh-oh.
Do you have any particular swear word you wanted?
No, I said my share.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of bullshit. That's just bullshit. I think you should be able to say bullshit now. I don't think it is a bad enough word.
This guy.
What?
Oh, stop.
Do you think it's? Do you think? I mean, the F word, which I am not going to use, is used so often now, it's lost its level of where you go, whoa. Everybody uses it now so often that it's lost its, I mean, that's always been the worst swear word to me, right? I don't know that I don't know that it is, but like easy. The history of this, Paul Hornung was allowed to say bullshit on the air. I don't know. Did you ever edit it, Pebble, or did you ever let it go? Or
no, never.
Oh, okay.
Always got to dump it, Homer. You're gonna be on your toes.
And he deserved it. Paul Hornung, the most famous Packer in his prime ever. No one was the level of famous outside the sports world and in all worlds than Paul Hornung. It was Paul Hornung and the Green Bay Packers. Nobody else knew anybody else. They knew Lombardi, but Paul Hornung was, like I tell people, he retired on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He just wasn't retiring like most NFL players. I'm Paul Hornung. I'd do it on The Tonight Show, which at that time was the biggest evening show by far, 10:30, whatever. Anyway, so I allowed him to say.
I think it's Bart Starr. I don't know about Paul.
Wasn't when they were both playing. Wasn't even close. Bart Starr was like, so who is the sidekick that you remember in TV shows? Johnny Carson was Ed McMahon, but I don't know how old you are if you remember that, or other people that were sidekicks. Do you know Ed McMahon, right? You're old enough for Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Bart Starr was never. You're not as old as me. I'm 70. You're not 70.
Yeah. I'm older than you, dude.
How old are you? You're
Older
not
than you.
70. No. There's not a chance.
Yeah, I feel it.
I was. You may feel it. Yeah, you might feel it. I'm very grateful that I didn't have the talent to be a football player. I went to Wisconsin in 1972. You didn't even go till 10 years later.
Oh.
Anyway.
Where'd you live? Where'd you live?
On the Lakeshore trip.
Lakeshore dorms?
Yeah, and then when I came back a second time, I lived at the zoo's celery, which is just insanity. Well, no, I went there a year, lettered in tennis, then left after a year to go play tennis in California, didn't go to school. And then I thought I was too good for Wisconsin, so I went to Arizona. After a semester, they made it clear to me that I wasn't good enough to play there. And so I said, I'm coming back to Wisconsin, and will you give me a scholarship? And the coach said, yeah, your results are good enough. So I came back. You had to sit out a year. I sat out one semester, and then when I came home, I came down with rheumatoid arthritis, and that pretty much ended my average career. But the second time when I came back, I lived in Celery, 10 floors. And just whoever thought insanity. No dorm should be 10 floors high. Oh, so they played foosball all the time. We had a foosball table in the on that floor. The last day, somebody had taken the foosball table and thrown it out the window 9 stories down because we were on the 9th floor. was just crazy.
Okay,
They're just like 1 million people in the damn building, and they're all nuts. Lakeshore was great.
Right.
The problem was it's too far away. It just took forever to walk there. Yeah. So
I tell you, want to give my claim to fame?
Yes, you were famous when you were there. I'm sure you lived at some.
I stayed in Cole. No, you know where Cole is?
I have no idea. No, I don't think it existed.
Lakeshore Dorms.
Okay.
Yeah, Lakeshore Dorms.
Oh.
And it was kind of across
Adams. It was actually Adams, and then Tripp was the building in Adams.
Yeah, Adams and Tripps were all over the same back on the
Correct.
other side over there.
Yes.
Cole. I stayed in Cole Hall, and it was close to the where they made the ice cream.
Oh yes.
Over there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Much closer.
So one day they were showing a film. They always showed movies on Cole Hall on the wall out back for all the kids.
They never told us about that.
Yeah, so they always had a projector, and they came out. They showed, Animal House or whatever movie, Big Day, blah, blah, blah. And you had ice cream, beer, whatever, and you came out. Mass sea of people. So me and my good friend Michael Jones, who's a wide receiver from Chicago, I think he went to Robeson High School out of Chicago, I believe.
Okay.
So we went downstairs inside of Cole Hall where they had a projector plugged in. We unplugged the projector, and then we went over to where the cows were, and we opened the gate and we let the cows out, and the cows came over and kind of herded through.
No, that's bullshit. There's no way. No. Come on. Come on. You heard somebody did that, and you're telling the story. Come on. Well, you were a big shot there, so you probably could get away with it.
You call that bull? Come on.
You were there 1 year. You were in the dorm 1 year, right? Then you moved out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course it's okay. You're a big shot. Football players, all the famous athletes did that.
Actually, I was there for 2 years. You're gonna like this. Aaron Popke, you know Aaron Popke?
Sure. Now with the Packers, he's a big shot in the media.
His daughter, I lived in Chamberlain my freshman year. Aaron Popke's daughter has the same dorm room as my dorm room when I was in.
Good. That's real. You didn't make that up. I believe that's the real deal.
Well, you mean I didn't make the other one up? That was a true story.
Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where Babcock was. It was the Babcock.
Yeah,
that's where Babcock's ice cream
Babcock.
was.
So they had the cows over in there. So we went over there and opened the gates, and the cows came out, and they came all the way through back by Cole Hall and ran everybody out.
Right, and they called the cops on you or something. They had to do something. What did they do?
No, they didn't call the cops. They just herded the cows back because they always got out. People always let the cows out all the time. That was a thing.
Well, that was 10 years after I was there. It wasn't a thing. The thing when I was there, was drinking age was 18.
Right. Same was I.
No, there's no way it was 18 when you were there. It changed.
Yeah, it was 18 when I was there. No, it was 18 when I was there.
I got to check on that. So when I went back there, I thought it had already changed to where it wasn't 18 anymore. But
I was 62, Homer. Yeah, 62.
Yeah, that is great. And I was one of the rare individuals who had to lie because when I first went to Wisconsin, I wasn't 18 yet. I didn't turn 18 till November. But nobody asked for IDs because they assumed everybody was 18.
Yeah.
Just drink wherever you want. What a country. All right, where were we? Oh, yeah. So, we let Paul Hornung. No, in the early 60s when they were champions, right? Paul Hornung was Johnny Carson and Bart Starr was Ed McMahon. Now, as far as the importance on the team, Bart Starr was bigger, but in terms of entertainment, wasn't even close. Paul Hornung was 50 times more famous than Bart Starr because he transcended the NFL. He had been a star at Notre Dame. He'd been a star with the Packers. He was a pretty boy. He'd been the Heisman Trophy winner. When it was Paul Hornung and the Green Bay Packers up until about 1960, 64. I can't remember. There was a show called What's My Line? I don't know if you remember that show where people would come on and nobody would know what they did. All right, you know who showed the Packers won the national and the NFL championships in New York City in 61 or 62. Ray Nitschke shows up on What's My Line because nobody knew who the hell he was. So they were asking questions. He's a weird-looking dude then, big glasses up. If Paul Hornung had gone up there, they would have all known who Paul Hornung was. If Bart Starr had gone up there, I'm not sure they would have even known who he was.
Yeah, they would have known. They would.
All right. I'll have to have somebody else defend my position. Most of those people back then are dead. So now there was another guy, Art Brazee, who you may have known because he was a big supporter of Wisconsin football after you were down there. So Art Brazee, when we would meet with him, every other word was the F word. Every other word. So on his 90th birthday, I said, I'm putting you on the show, but you got to use the F word.
You got to
you can't use it. I go, look, it will be on tape delay. So like Pebble just said, you have a button. What is it, 7 seconds, 10 seconds?
I think it's 7 seconds.
7 seconds. So anytime you say anything now, if you wanted to use the F word now, can you do it even on YouTube? Could you do tape delay or not really?
No, not really, no.
All right. So you tape delay. And I told Pebble, were you working on when Art Brazee was there or not? Was it
I might have been,
else?
yeah.
So I said, Pebble, he's going to use the F word. You better have the dump button ready. I told him in Madison. Problem. On Madison, nobody was working at the desk. Or the board. So it's there. It's out there somewhere. But I didn't get fired. So fortunately, I guess nobody was listening, right, Pebble?
Nobody complained, I guess, yeah.
No one complained.
Or they liked it, I guess.
I don't know. He got the F word out in Madison. Whenever that was, I could give you the exact date if I go back and look up when he turned 90. All right, let's get back to serious stuff regarding the Green Bay Packers. The questions are out.
You're a great storyteller. You're awesome.
No, you're a good storyteller. You just won't tell the stories. Like if I ask you,
Horning,
if you...
That's the golden boy, right? The golden boy.
Yes. And he wrote a book. People should read it. He talked about how he was you can't say a degenerate gambler, but he gambled all the time. He was one of the first real gamblers.
Who was bigger? Who was bigger? Ready for this?
Yeah.
The golden boy.
Yeah.
Alex Karras.
Yes.
Frank Gifford. Who was bigger?
Frank Gifford would have been bigger because he was a giant in New York. So Frank Gifford was ahead. Alex Karras was nothing until after he got done playing and he became an actor. The question would have been, first it was Horning, well, then it would have become Jim Brown when he left the NFL to become an actor, was in the Dirty Dozen.
Right.
But he wasn't playing football then. But I would say that Frank Gifford probably trumped Paul Horning because he was a star in New York. And I don't know if he ever MVP. It was a little bit before Horning's time, but yeah. So no, you have great stories, but you won't tell them. What?
Chuck Bednarik?
No, I mean he's a great player, but nobody. No, they barely knew him on his block. In Philly, they knew him and stuff like that. No, he was. No, there was. Back then, baseball ruled.
Okay,
you're right. The star then was Mickey Mantle.
Baseball. Yes.
Willie Mays. And as I tell people, they don't like to hear this in Milwaukee, Hank Aaron didn't even exist. Hank Aaron was nothing. And then, of course, he broke Babe Ruth's record in Atlanta, but it was just a question of the Yankees were so big, and then Mickey Mantle, and they won championships, and then the one who should have, and he was recognized, the one who should have been recognized was Willie Mays. Willie Mays was incredibly good. All right.
Yeah.
So what else are you mad about with Packer fans? I'm going back to we're on YouTube
back.
Yeah, I mean it's really kind of hold on, here we go. You can respond to this. Yeah. It is really kind of embarrassing to have had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks with just two chips. I thought we were Titletown, not occasional Titletown. Yeah, Titletown's a joke. It's not Titletown. Never was Titletown. It was Vince Lombardi time. Vince Lombardi won 5 titles in 7 years. Then it was title town. Since then, it's become MVP town or playoff town. The Packers have done nothing of any significance better than maybe 12 other franchises in terms of winning championships since Lombardi left town. So they're among the better franchises with 2, but they're title town only because they have the most titles going back to the Old Testament and Don Hudson when
this guy.
It wasn't really, the NFL was so small back then. I'd have to go look exactly, but yeah,
I think people have to realize. I don't think people do how hard it is to win Super Bowls. And because you had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but everything has to work out just right for you. And there's a lot of games that we talked about. For instance, we just talked about the Giants game. When the Packers are number 1 seed, that Giants game with Brett Favre, when he throws the kick on the outside. I mean, they were a shoo-in favorite to win that game. And then the Seattle game in Seattle with Aaron Rodgers, they had that game won at halftime and gave that thing away. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that to win Super Bowls that sometimes you gotta be a little lucky than good.
Yeah. And the reason people, I think, are appropriately disappointed is because the Packers have been a good organization for almost all those years. Let's see, 96. I mean, even to 97. And they, as Ron Wolf said, they were farting to win. They should have won back-to-back titles.
Right.
Let's see where lost the 2007, lost the NFC Championship game to the Giants, 23-20 in overtime.
That was the one.
13-3, yeah. And you can pick, then 2007, then like 2011, they lost the divisional playoffs to the Giants 37-20 after they were 15-1 because they didn't, and I would blame, I think Ted Thompson was in charge then. I blame Ted Thompson because they didn't have a good enough defense for as good as the offense was.
What year?
2011, they were 15-1. Remember, they lost to, was it late in the year? Kansas City beat them, and then the Giants.
They led the league. They led the league in takeaways that year.
But they gave up a ton of points, and they scored a ton of points.
Gave up a lot of points. They scored a ton of points, and the defense got a lot.
And
of
the Giants beat them 37-20 in Green Bay. So that's 2. Yeah. Then you have 2014. They lose to the Seahawks 28-22 in overtime. That's another one they could have won. So now we're at 3, and I wouldn't say it may be one of the Tampa Bay. You feel like they could have won that when they got Brady. But either way, I'm like you. I just think that they should have won more, but they just didn't. But they still won. It's different when you don't have any, like Dan Marino. Dan Marino was in Miami, changed the game with all the incredible passing yards his rookie or second year, and Don Shula was his coach. Don Shula, arguably one of the great, and they never won another one. I don't think he ever went back.
No, never went back, bro.
So, but I, again, as president of the Green Bay Packers, would expect my team to win a Super Bowl every 20 years. As you are president of the Green Bay Packers, you wouldn't expect Super Bowls. You would expect some level of winning, right? Making the playoffs.
Correct. Yes. Having a shot at it. I want a shot. I want to have a bite of the apple.
So making the playoffs, like look at Pittsburgh. What's Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh has not won a playoff game in, is it right? I'm almost sure it's 8 years. They've been 500 or better. That's not good enough.
Well, their problem right now, right, is they don't have a quarterback.
Yes, they've had difficulty with an offense ever since Roethlisberger left. But that's not good enough. Now, am I willing to fire Mike Tomlin? I don't know. Probably not. But something's got to change. Might have to get a new GM. I got to do something. What the Steelers have done in recent years is not good enough. And they've been hiding behind. They got to get a quarterback.
Well, they got to get a quarterback.
But
then retired. They weren't ready for it, and they got to get a quarterback.
Yes, and pay whatever price.
And maybe Aaron Rodgers is the guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to look here. I want to go back because I got it because I don't follow him. All right.
Because you're a conspiracy theorist guy. You always have these types of things. What's taking Rodgers so long here?
My guess is first of all, he's crazy. All right. I mean, I say that he's nuts. He's just weird.
Nice way.
I mean, so that whatever anybody, what's he doing? I don't know. What? I don't know. But I mean, the possibility could be he's waiting until after the draft. I think it's reasonable to think he's waiting for the possibility that he could end up with the Vikings. And my answer to that is, what's the rush? There's no rush. The rush might be the Steelers, but I don't. What's the rush for Rodgers? I don't know that there is any. Right? Why hasn't he signed yet?
One would thought he would have announced where he's going. I mean, unless you're right, unless it is really about the Vikings and not the Steelers.
And I would say, if I'm him, what's the rush? I want to be open to anything and wait until the last minute. Generally, I would think it's the team where the Steelers would say, look, we need to know by this date or we're going to move on. But I don't know what that date is. They may, I don't know if they want to wait and see what happens. If I have said that if I was him, I would be interested in a team that drafts a quarterback but doesn't want the quarterback to play for a year. Now, maybe the Steelers could end up doing that. So I'm Rodgers, and I play 1 year, and then the young quarterback takes over the next year. But, again, it's impossible to know. But I don't think if you're a player, wouldn't you want to wait as long as possible? Something could change. Something could happen. What's the rush? There is
no, because I think you owe it to the guys and where you're going to go. I mean, if it's the Steelers, I think he needs to be there doing stuff with those guys right now.
Only if they demand it, right?
Right. And obviously they haven't.
And obviously they haven't.
Obviously they're afraid to. And obviously they're afraid to. I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
No, that's why I would think the draft will give you some idea. But if I were the Steelers, I wouldn't have any rush. Fine. Take whatever time, what difference? It's April. I don't know at what time, close to training camp or whenever we'd want to know. If I want him, I mean, I would say let's just say it's the Steelers, and they're going to take a quarterback in the first round. Do they owe it to call Rodgers and say we're taking a quarterback? Because he wants to know. No, I don't know him anything. No, do whatever you want. I mean, if he hasn't done anything by now, it depends on if he's waited and we wanted him to do it and we've just accepted. No, they don't owe him anything.
Right.
I'm going to do what's best for the organization, and then I'll call Rodgers. And I've never understood the importance of that in the first place. Like, you're going to inform him? What the hell difference does it make? So now you inform me that you got a quarterback? Oh, that makes me feel better. Oh, you really care about me. If you cared about me, you wouldn't have drafted a damn quarterback. What do I so the premise of you need to talk to, like, we're going to do this. Why? When you show up, I'll explain why we did it. Because we want our, I'm not thinking about next year. Just like Favre. Right. I mean, the people that I have talked to, they say that the Packers wanted to move on from Favre. I mean, that's what it was. It wasn't, so like, was he mad when they drafted Rodgers or all this kind of stuff? Was Rodgers mad when they drafted Jordan Love? They just go, that's just stupid. Yeah. Anybody in the league knows that you're an employee. They're the boss. You're an employee. Yeah. And then so they're going to do whatever they want to do. And you're just an employee. So you should, Tony Smith has said this, and you have as well. That's why people get mad at players, because they think players don't care enough about the team as much as fans do. And the answer is, it's a job. And you know what? That team is going to get rid of me whenever they can. So they don't have any loyalty to me. Why should I have any loyalty to them? I got to do what's best for me, because they're going to do what's best. So I care about the team, but not like a fan. It's my job. That's how I care about it.
Just ask Luka. He'll tell you.
Yeah. And they've made mention of this, and I think it's true, that the owners of professional sports teams now are these multi-billion gazillionaires. And so there's the standard by which they make changes is even more quicker now than ever before. Because they got enough money to do whatever the heck they want.
They can pay them to go away.
Correct. And it doesn't have to make any sense at all. It can be stupid because in terms of their value as an individual, the team probably isn't that big a percentage. It's more like a game. It's like it's a little toy. It's a toy for them that makes them well known.
Normally now, guys are not buying teams to get rich. They're already rich.
Yeah, it's a toy.
20, 30 years ago, it wasn't a toy.
Yes, that's correct. It was a way to get rich and maybe be recognized or whatever. But I couldn't afford for it to lose a ton of money. Now, hey, it's just peanuts. It's a small part of the value. So, yeah, that's what the coaches are saying. And that's what's true, though I do think that the coach at Denver, somebody should hire him, the Nuggets. Like the Bucks. I would call Doc Rivers and say, Doc, we know you really didn't want to coach. It was just too much money. So we're going to bring Malone in at the end of the year, and we're going to pay you what we owe you. And I think Doc could be fine with that. And that's what I would do if I was
the Bucks would have had, 4 coaches in 5-6 years?
Whatever, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Yes. But again, I think that he's a very good coach, and I think that would make the team better. So, I'm not sure. Well, like you say, how can you do 3 or 4 coaches? Because we got lots of money. And in the world we live in, that amount of money isn't that great. By the way, we're just about out of time. I need to get in one more bullshit.
Let's go.
But I want to make sure we cover whatever it is you're angry about with Packer fans.
I think we got it all. We got it in. I got it out. We're good.
Let's see what else we got here. No, we've only got what do we have? 3 minutes left, Pebble?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
Before we're out of town.
All right.
So what's the advice that you want to give Packer fans? It's hard to win a Super Bowl, or what's an appropriate amount of displeasure when the Packers don't do well, or are you always going to say, calm down, it's hard? What?
I'm always until I see something that's going to lead me to hyperventilate, and I don't see anything like that.
Okay, so I got a great one for you then. Forget Packers. Yeah. Wisconsin football. I'm at that point hyperventilating right now.
I'm there. Oh
okay.
Yeah, absolutely there. Absolutely.
And I want to be fair. The game is changing with NIL, and
it is.
The schedule is much tougher. It doesn't seem so. So how much time do we give them to figure it out, or to say?
Well, and here's the thing: if you watch the basketball side,
yes,
the basketball program seemed to have figured it out.
It
took a year.
Yeah,
it took a year. Well, they know where they are, right? They know that the pinnacle is the Sweet 16 if they can get there.
Correct.
And
what's the pinnacle for football?
The football program is got to get back, and not necessarily, they got to get back to 9 to 10 wins. That's what they got to get back to.
Can they do that given the teams in the Big Ten?
If they can figure out how to work the NIL game, they can.
Right. And the problem is
Indiana has proven that.
Well, and I want to tell you this. I need to see it again. I need to see it again.
And Illinois has proven that. But you're right, Homer, and that's what's going to happen. I don't disagree with you. All these teams like Indiana, like Illinois, like Michigan State, like Wisconsin, like Iowa will be interchangeable on any given year. It's not sustainable because they can't pay the money. It's not sustainable.
Right. But I want to emphasize, you, like all of us, really don't know how the money works that well or which direction it's going to go.
All I know is if Ohio State is spending $20 million, they say, allegedly.
Yes, Ohio State is going to be really good.
If they spent $20 million on players,
yes,
and we spend $1 million, now I don't say we are, but we only spending $1 million, that means Ohio State's going to have a better player.
Yes, now this is the question I would ask. the Wisconsin spending way more than $1 million. Way more.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's 10. I don't know if it's 15. Yeah. And I also don't know.
15. I don't even know if it's 10.
And I also don't know, even with that amount, how are you doing in terms of getting the proper return for the amount you're paying a player? We don't even know.
That's a great idea. That's great.
I sense they've done a bad job at analyzing talent with the money they've had. But I'll be the first to admit I don't know bullshit about NIL. I'm just guessing. Because I don't know who's getting the money. Right?
We don't.
Maybe the offensive line, the lines have been bad because they haven't been spending the money well. Or it might be because they haven't been spending enough money. I don't know. I just know what you have told me, and I agree. The line of scrimmage stinks compared to the standard that you're accustomed to when Wisconsin was good. Yeah. So I will defer to whatever you say. I will see somebody soon who would know the money situation, but I'm not sure that he or she will tell me. And if they tell me, I don't know it's the truth. As I've compared this in so many times, like it's like asking somebody how many people the mob killed this year. I don't know, and I'm not sure whoever I asked if they say they knew didn't. All right, you've got things to do. We're out of time, right? Pebble's not even listening because he knows you guys can ramble on forever. Go as long as you want.
I'm listening, Homer. I got you guys.
Because it's over when we're done, right?
Whenever you guys wrap up,
whenever we wrap up, we're done. And it's not we go somewhere.
Nope.
It's just over.
And the YouTube stream.
Gary Ellerson, finish the show. You close out the show.
Good night, everybody.
That is so short. Don't you want to leave them with some piece of wisdom? I'll give you a second chance.
Good night, everybody.
And Gary Ellerson, take two.
Good night, everybody.
I guess that's it.
Good night, everybody.